Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of this HEJIN Christmas Characters Crochet Pattern Kit. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in, and for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on the notification bell for future videos. So you guys, I went on Amazon and I got this Christmas character crochet kit, and price point is at currently at $21. It's available in Prime. There's a 10% coupon, and I think it's also free delivery. So I'm gonna leave a picture of the Amazon snippet in one of the corners of the screens here, so that you guys can take a look at it. And then also I'm going to leave the link for Amazon in the description box below. So if you want to join me in making these pretty cute holiday characters, you can always click that link, check it out. I'm not affiliated with HEJIN or whoever store. I don't even know what store sells this. I just went on my own and I found like a cheap holiday kit that you can go and make these beautiful little characters. We have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We have, is this Frosty? This is a wannabe? No, it's not. I have no idea what that is. It's not a familiar character. But then we have an elf. We have Snowman, and we have Santa, and then I'm sure once we open the booklet, I'll find out who this character is. And as it says up in the corner, all materials are included, and it's no joke, they are included. The box is fairly big. It's bigger than this frame here, and it's a good amount bigger than this manual. It's probably about 2 inches around, so it's a fairly big box, and it does have, I think, everything you need. So I'm gonna try to, I guess, do another, I did an unboxing live. I'm gonna do another quick unboxing for you guys, but I'm just gonna show you the contents in it for a little bit, and then I'll tuck it away because there isn't enough room in this frame to fit everything. So you have your white cotton yarn. It's all cotton yarn, and it's not the yarn that you would think of. So there's no fray, there's no lint. I mean, I guess there's some lint, but it's pretty, it's like a tubular kind of, I don't know if anybody has ever worked with this before. I don't. I work with regular yarn, so this is going to be a first for me. But you have your white, you have your red, you have your peach color, and then you have like a tan, you have a green, and then I'm going to whip out the smaller colors. You have your black, you got a light green, orange, you have a brown, and you have a yellow. And then also in this kit, it gives you a pair of scissors, and these are just decent scissors, so be careful with these. They are not sharp edge, they're rounded, but the blades, when you use it, you can tell they're really gonna cut, so be careful with that. It comes with a case where you can put your crochet needles, but currently what's in it is your needle that you're going to use. This is fairly large actually, but I guess for the size yarn it has to be. But it has a needle, it has safety pins for you to mark your rows. It has beady eyes that I won't be using. I'm going to be sewing on my own yarn to make the eyeballs, and it has the stoppers for them too. And then it also comes with this hook needle thing. I guess this is what they give. This is pretty hefty because, you know, my needle is just the needle. It doesn't have this extra stuff, but I'm going to try using this. This is going to be the first time that I'm using it. I just don't like things that are too cumbersome, but we'll see how that works. And then, of course, we have 2 packets of vacuum sealed fluff. And this is going to be fun to open because anything vacuum sealed is very misleading, because when you open it, it expands. So it could be a lot of fluff in here, you guys. So that's what's in the box. So like I said, it's definitely, I think so far it's a good deal. For what you're getting, you're going to end up making, I guess, about 5 characters with these. So it's definitely worth looking into. And they're all small projects, so they're good for beginners, and including the fact that they have everything for you. You're not going to need to get anything else. So definitely check it out. So we're going to see what character we're going to do first today. So there is another step-by-step if mine isn't that clear, which is also great. And there's, I guess, to make Christmas characters, there's a step-by-step for that. And then if you're a complete beginner, there's a QR code for that. And it teaches you a basic crochet course, which is also great too. And then I can always, I always try to do my basics before I start. But in this booklet, you have your table of contents, basics, abbreviations, head, collar, snowman, Santa, gingerbread, reindeer, and elf. So I guess that was a gingerbread man, which, oh, I see it now. You see it, you guys? The funny thing is they made it peach. I mean, if you wanted a gingerbread man, you would make it like a brownish ginger color. Oh well. Anyway. So in this booklet, it shows you like obviously some basic stuff that I will be working through. I just got to see what character we're going to do first. Okay, so this is definitely good stuff to review before you start, but since I'm doing this video, I'm going to kind of explain it as I see it. So I did notice in looking in this book, I personally think if you're a beginner, it would be nice to have, you know, a few pages for the Santa, a few pages for the gingerbread, a few pages for the elf, a few pages for the reindeer, and a few pages for the snowman. But in this case, what they have, how they have it set up is you want to start this first page, or not first page, but the first page of actually showing the projects. They want you to do the head piece first for all 5. And sometimes you don't want to do all 5, right? But I feel like it's just because for me, as a person that likes to do projects and follow instructions, I like to see it like little by little with just that project. When you introduce other projects, it just gets a little overwhelming. And then, like I said, they split up each project per body part. So this page is the head. And then it's going to be, the next page is like, oh, snowman hat, but you know, you don't finish the rest. It's snowman hat, it's the carrot nose. And then I guess they show the assembly here. And this one is the Santa hat. And then we have a pom-pom, a beard. Okay, so I guess they split it up that way. I think that first page is only sharing the same instruction for all 5 characters, with the exception, I mean, all 5 characters using the same instructions, and I guess collar, just different colors. Okay, so we got it. So I'm just gonna do let's see, do the head. I guess the next page is the snowman. So I'm gonna start with the snowman today, you guys. I'm doing this one here. So go ahead and check out the kit if you'd like to try it out yourself after you see this video. And then you can follow along with me. I'll be posting these whenever I can, because I am also a channel that does nails. So I'm not gonna always be able to post crochet videos. And then I do have 2 other requests to redo the crafter square, mouse, and unicorn, so I'm going to be doing that as well after these guys. And then I will be also doing a quick hat if you want to make a Santa hat. Okay, so what I like to do is, you have yarn that's wrapped on the outside, and I think that's fine to do. However, when you pull it, you know, it's going to get caught in here. You can remove this, but then when you pull it, it's going to roll around. I always try to get it from the inside, and this happened to be sticking out, so I got lucky. And then when you pull from the inside, it just unravels from the inside, but your spool just stays put. You just gotta like just pull it, and that's the end of it. If it was this one, it's gonna roll around because it's wrapped around, you know, the whole thing a bunch of times. So if you can kind of get it to where you can pull the yarn from the inside, then that would be a lot easy for you, trust me. Okay, so in this they have the magic loop. They do not show you how to make the magic loop, but I'm going to show you how to do the magic loop. So I am using my right hand for this. I am actually a lefty. I can do both. So leave a comment below if you want me to do the lefty. Like I said, for the crafter square kits, I have 2 redo requests, and I'm actually going to do those lefty, so look out for that. But I want to show you how to do this magic loop. So in the magic loop, you want to, let's see if I can remember this. Okay. You're going to have to wrap this around your finger twice. Okay. So if you didn't see, we have once, twice. And you want to make sure that when you're looking at your index finger, that you have that overage here. Right? And then we're gonna put our middle finger over that end piece to hold it down. And then I'm gonna grab their little hook that they gave me, and I'm gonna slip it under all 3 pieces of yarn, and I'm gonna pull back out. I'm gonna pull this guy under these 2 like that. Then I'm going to yarn over, which is basically wrapping this yarn over the hook so that it gets caught in the hook, and I'm going to pull it through that loop. So now that we sealed these 2 loops in, I can remove this off my finger, and we have our magic loop. That's pretty much it. After making the magic ring, it says to do 6 single crochet stitches into the magic loop. And then to keep track of where I am, I have to use the stitch marker to mark the beginning of each round. So for the beginners that haven't seen any of my crafter square crochet kits, I will of course always show how to do these things in the part 1 videos, if there's any other multiple parts, well, in the beginning of the videos, so that you can get a handle of what they're talking about. So 6 single crochet stitches. Let me tell you what's a single crochet stitch. SC is short for single crochet stitches, and the way to do that is I am going to, now before we start a stitch, right now we have like a little knot tying around this magic loop. So we have to build a row. So in order to build a row, we have to build the height of the row. Otherwise, it'll look like a spiral. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 1. So to chain 1, it's simple. You have to, I'm wrapping some yarn around here, and this may look bad. Like a lot of people I've seen are just comfortable doing like the couple of times, but I'm very impatient and I hate having to keep grabbing yarn. So this isn't the worst of it. Sometimes I have a big ball around my finger, but I just wrapped it around a couple times here, or more than a couple times, 5 times. It doesn't really matter. But we're only making 6 stitches, so it's not going to be that serious. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to yarn over. To yarn over, the default is from back to front. So that's how easy it is. So when you see yarn over, it's usually abbreviated by a Y and an O. You're going to want to just yarn over, back to front, like that. So you have a nice little loop around your hook. And then you're going to pull that into this chain, and that is a chain 1. So this chain 1, you guys, is going to become the height of the row. So now we can start our row of 6 single crochet stitches. And I'm sorry, let me just say that when I say row, in this case, because it's a circle, it's called round. So for our round 1, we're doing 6 single crochet stitches. I chained 1 to get up to that round, and then we're going to do 6. So let me show you how to do a single crochet stitch. So what you're going to do is stick the hook into the magic ring. See how I'm putting it through these 2 pieces here? Then we're going to yarn over, like I've mentioned before. Alright, sorry, I lost my place. We put the hook into the ring with the 2 pieces, and then I'm going to yarn over, and then I'm going to pull up a loop through the magic ring, and then I'm going to yarn over again, and then I'm going to pull that through the 2 loops, and that, my friends, is a single crochet stitch. So now we have to do 5 more of these. I'm going to walk with you the 5 stitches so that in hopes you can pick it up for the next round. Okay, so again, stick the hook into the magic ring with the 2 pieces here. We're going to yarn over and then pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over again and pull up through 2 loops. Single crochet stitch. So now we have 2. We've got to do 4 more. So let's do this again. Stick the hook into the magic ring with the 2 pieces, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull up through 2 loops. So now we have 3. So then we're going to do 3 more. We're going to stick the hook into the magic ring with the 2 loops. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over again and draw through 2 loops. So now we have 4. We just need to do 2 more. We'll stick the hook back into the magic ring with the 2 loops. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 5. So now we just need 1 more. So we're going to stick the hook into the magic ring with the 2 loops. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So now we have 6. Now just to make sure that we have 6, you always want to count backwards. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're going to say, no, we have 7. There's 7 here, but just to remind you, this last one here doesn't count because it acts like a height for the entire round. And I know it doesn't look like it now, but once we start tightening the loop, it's gonna compress together. And this piece here is gonna straighten out to make it look like a round. But just know that you count 6 stitches, and then you're going to have this extra looking piece, which is not a full piece, it's just a row height thing. Okay, So keep track of where you use stitch marker to mark the beginning of each round. So you know what? It's so funny because I guess when you go onto their website already, it'll explain to you the magic loop, because it doesn't really, being a beginner booklet, you really should show, illustrate how to do this as a beginner, because I would have never, you know, and I would have to go onto their website. And then here, it doesn't tell you that you have to join the round. And it looks, the rows look very straight. They don't look spiraled. And for a magic loop, you have, it kind of implies that we're going to be doing a cutoff row and not a spiral. So I'm going to show you how to put this all together. So what you're going to do is, we counted the 6 back. Now we can close this because we know we have all the stitches we need. So I'm going to start pulling this end here and seeing which one out of the 2 it's tightening up. So it's tightening in the back. So instead of struggling to get these 2 very tight, I'm going to find out which one gets pulled first. And then I'm going to want to pull this end out of it. So the back loop is the one that's being pulled. I'm going to grab this end and I want to pull it out, and then this front one will start to follow. So hold down with this hand these stitches just to anchor it a little bit so that you can pull this end out with not too much difficulty. And you're going to see this hole start to arch and then close. So let me also do a tip. This might get into the way, so I want you to pull this loop out. Give enough loop so you don't lose that stitch, and you can place this down. This is free. You can now easily, without the, you know, flopping around of this hook, you can pull out this side, the yarn, and you see it's closing in on itself. That's exactly what you want to see. And then once you pulled it enough to where it doesn't want to move anymore, then you can grab this extra piece and pull that, and this loop will now follow. You can pull it a little extra to make sure it's tight. You see how nice and round that is? So this is exactly what I'm saying. This implies what you have to do, but I wish that it explained it in this first row instruction, especially for beginners that are not going to right away think, oh, you have to go, unless it says it here somewhere and I'm just talking out of my butt. But let's see. Oh yeah. Oh wait, no, count stitches, how to read crochet patterns, insert 2 loops, front loops, back loops, about the stitches. Yeah, oh wait, before we know, working the yarn, working the ring, top loop stitch, single crochet yarn tail. Yeah. So it's just explaining the anatomy of it all, if that makes any sense. But it doesn't explain the how the magic loop works. So I just showed you. But now the next step is we have to connect this stitch to the first stitch. So as they said, we need to use the stitch marker. So let me just get that ready. And those stitch markers are these guys here. You can use anything. In my Crafter Square videos, I used yarn because that is the cheap and easiest way to go. You can buy things like this, or if you buy this kit, obviously it will include it and you don't have to worry about it. So we're going to put this back in, and I am going to tighten up this loop a little bit. Okay, so then what we do is we count back the 6 stitches again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what we have to do is a slip stitch into the front and back loops. So you want to take your hook and stick it into the front and back loops and try to like crochet loosely, but not too loose, so that you're not struggling to do this, because this is different material for me, guys. It looks like it's very thick and tight compared to what I'm using. So my stitches are actually maybe a little too tight. I don't know. Alright, so I stuck my hook into here. I'm going to yarn over, and to connect the two rows, it's called a slip stitch. They usually abbreviate it by using the letter S and the letter L. And a slip stitch is pretty much slipping these two stitches together to make one. So we have this stitch and this stitch, and I'm going to yarn over, pull a loop through the first stitch and the second stitch. Like I said, we're fusing them together. So now it looks like these are two separate stitches, but they're not. They're now counted as one. So if you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we should have 6 stitches in total. So hopefully that makes sense. Leave a comment below. I've had people kind of question me in the previous videos what I was talking about and how to further explain it. So I can either verbally explain it in the comments, or I can probably do a really short individual video explaining how this magic loop all works and how the count works and how slip stitch works. I know it can get a little complicated, but once you kind of understand that part of it, you know, moving forward with any project that uses a round, you'll understand. So like it says here, to keep track of where you are, use a stitch marker to mark the beginning and end of each round. So that essentially is going to be this here. I know it's this one too, but you don't really need to like safety pin everything. We're just going to use this one. So stick it through front and back loops and then close up that safety pin. And these plastic ones are so cute and definitely safer than using the metal ones, because you know you can totally prick yourself with the needle. But we're going to move on to round 2, and it wants you to end up with 12. So this means that we have to 6 stitch increase to 12. INC for this book, and it could be, you know, I think sometimes, I mean, SC is general. I think everybody uses it's universal. I think INC, I don't know, I don't think I've ever seen that before, but I don't know, maybe it's out there, maybe it's universal, but INC means increase. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, again, as I told you guys, you want to chain 1 so that you can create the height of the next round. So you're going to want to yarn over and then pull up a loop. So we have that. Now I'm going to show you how to do an increasing stitch. Let me just go back and see if this booklet explains how they do it. I feel that you probably have to use that QR code to increase a stitch. And just looking at this, let me see. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't really tell you how to create the increasing stitch. Like again, I said, you'd have to probably check out their website for those instructions. But we're just going to do it here. So you can, you know, very well use their videos. I'm sure it's probably, the video quality alone is probably better and the lighting. But I'm just going to, you know, do what I can on here, and you can stay here and watch. So do an increase. An increase is basically 2 single crochet stitches. So basically all you need to do is do 2 of them in 1 stitch. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that. Again, these 2 stitches that were fused together, when you start your first stitch, this isn't going to be the first one. This doesn't count because this belongs to the this one here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in this one. So what you got to do is stick your hook into the front and back loops of the next stitch. Then we're going to yarn over, and I'm going to try to loosen up my I'm going to loosen up my stitches because it's getting really tight and this yarn is so thick. Okay, so we have 2 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over again and draw through 2, so that's my single crochet stitch. Now, to increase, we have to go back into the same stitch. I hope you guys can see that. Into the same stitch that we just made a single crochet stitch. So you do that, yarn over, and pull up a loop through that same stitch. And then you're going to yarn over again and draw through 2. So now we have 2 stitches, 1, 2. And now we have to do this 5 more times. So I am going to walk through this with you, and we're going to do, we're going to complete the 10 stitches left so that we have 12 in total. So again, hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. I'm going to try to loosen up my stitches. You can do that by pulling out slack so you have this huge loop compared to what I was doing before. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then we're going to do it again into the same stitch. Put your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over and pull up through 2 loops, and now we have 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, yeah. So we're not going to count that one that made the height, so don't worry about that. So we are going to now do this 4 more times. Again, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and to increase we're going to do it again into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 3 more times. Into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, so 2 more times, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, into the same stitch, sorry, into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Last time, and this is where we have the marker. Since I'm not using the yarn, I'm going to remove this now. The yarn is easy to leave in and just move aside. I guess you can move this aside too, but it's plastic. I don't want to bend it. So I'm just going to take this off. I know that this one is my last one. So we're going to stick this into the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to stick the hook into the same stitch. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we should have 12. And we're going to do the same thing that we did for round 1. We're going to count back 12 stitches and do a slip stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And like I said, there's going to be one here, but you're not going to want to count that as 1. That's technically the height of the round, because as I slip stitch this, like I said, stick the hook into the front and back loops of the 12th stitch, and then we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop. Pulling this together, it's going to kind of squish that, and that is going to make the height so it looks like a round. So we pulled it through that stitch, and we're going to pull it through the last loop on your hook, and we completed that. This is the last stitch that we made. So I'm just going to stick the marker back in there and close it so that I know where I begin and left off. Okay, we're getting through this, you guys. It's coming along nicely. Look how pretty that is. Now, if you're a beginner, it may look a little lopsided and loose and tight here and, you know, all over the place. That definitely happened to me when I was learning. But, you know, with practice, it'll end up looking nice and uniform. So now for row 3, we're going to do in brackets a single crochet and an increase 6 times. And we're going to end up with 18 stitches. Okay, so this might be a little crazy for me because I always have a hard time keeping count. But as long as you keep this marker here, it's always going to be easy to backtrack off the hook and count how many stitches you have. So let's see if I screw up to where I lose count. But you'll see that I'll figure out a way to backtrack and count how many I have so that I can complete this round. So again, in brackets, single crochet and increase 6 times. So we're going to do single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, and then repeat 3 more times, and we'll have 18 stitches. I know that sounds like a lot, but I'm going to walk through this with you. So again, like with every row, you want to do a single chain to get the height of the round. Then we can continue doing our first single crochet stitch. And again, since these two were slip stitched together, don't count this little one here. The next stitch is actually the one next to it. So you want to stick your hook into the front and back loops of that. Then we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's our first single crochet stitch. Then we got to do an increase. So into the next stitch, stick your hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And then into the same stitch, stick the hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have 3 stitches. Here is now where we're going to keep alternating till we get to the end of the ring, and there should be 18 stitches. So hopefully I can do this and not get screwed up, because when I focus I don't talk at all, and when I talk I get distracted even though I'm telling myself what to do. It's weird. Okay, so into the next stitch, stick your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again, pull through 2 loops, single crochet stitch completed. Into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then again into the same stitch, put the hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We should have 6, and we got to complete this a few more times. Into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now into the same stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up 2 loops. Into the same stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we just have to complete this set 2 more times. So we got to do the single crochet and increase 2 more times. So into the next stitch, put your hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Into that same stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And you guys, one last time, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now here's the last stitch. I'm going to remove this marker here like we did previously, and I'm going to put the hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we should count backwards 18 stitches, and then we'll do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And again, don't count that little one. That one was just a space maker for the round. Stick your hook into the back and front loops of that stitch. Yarn over, pull through that set of the stitch, and then pull it through the next stitch. And then again, we're going to mark off that stitch with a safety pin. And we completed round 3. So next we have to do round 4. And for round 4, we have to do in brackets the single crochet stitch, increase stitch, single crochet stitch 6 times to make 24 stitches. Okay, no holds barred, you guys. Now this is where it gets crazier, because the more stitches you have, the more you're gonna have to count and keep track. And like I said, I really get lost sometimes, but I have my marker in and I'll be able to figure it out if I do make a mistake. So again, like we do with every round, you want to yarn over and pull up a loop to create that space. And then not this stitch, you guys, because it is fused with this one. We're going to start the next stitch over. So stick your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we're going to do the increasing stitch now, into the next stitch, pull in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, into that same stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And then a single crochet. We're gonna into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we just have to repeat this bracket, I guess 5 more times to make 24 stitches. Let me just grab some yarn here. Okay, so let's start this over again. Into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now into that same stitch, you want to stick in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to do a single crochet stitch into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Alright, so now we have to repeat this 4 more times. Getting more yarn. I normally get more than this, but I'm just starting out and I'm just gonna grab what I can. Okay, starting this all over again. Into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Then into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. and then into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And I already lost count, so I think, what, 2 more times, 3 more times? Who knows? Alright, so we're doing this all over again. Into the next stitch, single crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So I guess maybe 2 times this time? I don't know. Okay. Into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the same stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up 2 loops. Okay, we have to do this one more time. Okay. So into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, pull up a yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then into that same stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Now we're on to our last stitch, so I'm going to remove this marker. We're going to put the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up through 2 loops. Okay, so now we should have 24 stitches. I'm going to count backwards and do a slip stitch. So as you see, my round wants to curl in on itself. If you look on this side, you can see that it's very pretty, very clear, the rounds. You can see the braiding. This is called the right side, for as opposed to the wrong side. But as we flip it over, see how the stitches are now kind of lost. It looks a little messy. Of course, you have this excess sticking out. I normally will crochet it into the round so it disappears, but I won't do that for this series. The yarn is too big and we can probably tuck it away, and it's a lot more involved, and this is kind of beginner-ish. You can always tie it off and cut it. But anyway, you want to make sure that the good side is folding out. So you just want to go and fold out this circle, this round, because we're creating the head, right, of the snowman, and you want it to where the prettier side faces outside and the just okay side stays inside. I'm just going to coil this in itself. Okay, so now we have to do the slip stitch. What we're going to do is count 24 and slip through the 24th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And like I said, this is the 24th stitch. You're going to be like, oh, what's this? This is the spacer, so that doesn't count. You want to stick it into the 24th stitch, front and back loops. And then what we're going to do is yarn over, pull it through the loop, through the stitch, I'm sorry, pull up a loop, and then we're going to pull it through this chain here, and then we've connected our round. And then I'm going to take our little marker and put it into the last stitch we've made. so that I know where we ended and began. And now we're going to do rows 5 through 9. So we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 rows. We're just going to do 24 single crochet stitches. So this is going to be easy, but for sure this is going to want to curl in. So make sure that the prettier side is facing out. So I'm actually going to walk through this 5th round with you guys, but because it's very repetitive to the 9th round, I'm just going to do them. I might call out single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, but it's going to sound a little crazy. So since we all know that it's all going to be single crochet 24 times, I'll probably just do it after I walk this first round with you. So like we do with every round, you want to yarn over and pull up a loop to make that height. Now we're going to move on to the next stitch, which is this full one here, not this half one here that looks like it's sticking through here because we did that slip stitch. Stick the hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to stick the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now you guys, we have that last stitch left to do. I know that for me, I can get lost but still know how to find my way to make sure I have the right count in the right row. But just keeping in mind for beginners, I'm going to try to do something very foolproof, hopefully, to where you won't get lost. So being repetitive with the same stitch 24 times for 5 rows, you can kind of get lost and forget which row you're on. I know I've done it. I know how to count the rings, but when you're starting out, you may not be able to decipher like where the rows are to count it. So what I'm going to do is, in this kit, they gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 safety pins, which is going to be more than enough that I need to mark off where I did my row. So this pink one here, that's going to be row 5. I'm going to pick this, I don't know, random, this red one. And rather than move this, I am going to make my stitch. And I know I said I didn't want to bend it, but this is my first time using safety pins. I'm going to be gentle with it. If this is your first time too, be gentle with it. It would be unfortunate to bend these so that they don't work anymore. So I'm just gently pulling this aside. I'm going to stick my hook into that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. And so now I have my 24th stitch just to make sure. Let us count 24. 1, 2, 3. Let me see. It just looks also how it's held. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and like I said, this little one here is a spacer. Now the idea is I'm going to slip stitch this through. I'm trying to figure out if I unhook it, I'll be able to get it out. I think I will. It's late. I'm not really thinking straight. But stick the hook front and back loops of the 24th stitch while keeping the marker there in place. So that's going to indicate that that's row 5. And this is again for beginners, so you don't lose your way, because I'm for sure lost my way, and I've been doing this for, I don't know, I mean for a lot of decades. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through the next loop, and we've created our little slip stitch there. I'm going to take this now. This is going to indicate the 6th row. It's going to look like a padlock railing like they have in those little tourist sections where you you know, you're supposed to use your own personal lock and make a wish or something. Anyway, I'm going to close this up, and I've marked off the beginning and end of row 5. So now we're going to move on to row 6, and again I'm going to breeze through 6 through 9. You can go click on the gear. There's a little gear on this window here. You click that and you can change the playback speed from slow to fast, however you want. You can pause it while you do the remaining rows or rounds, or you can replay this last one if you need help doing the 24 single crochet stitches. But because this is pretty redundant, and you heard me call out the stitches earlier, it does sound a little robotic and a little repetitive, or a lot repetitive. So I'm just going to do rows 6 through 9 the same way. I may talk a little bit about clipping this and starting it off and slip stitching, but as far as saying single crochet 24 times 4 more, I'll save you the heartache of that. Okay, so like with every row, we're going to yarn over and make a chain to get that space, and then we're going to do 24 single crochet stitches. Again, not into this next stitch, but this full one is the actual stitch, not this one that looks like it's tucking into this one. But yeah, stick your hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. And we're going to do this 23 more times. Honestly, I don't even count. I mean, you should, but I don't even count the stitches I make, because I just count it later when I'm done. But if you count it while you're doing it and you're good at keeping track of your count, you can catch yourself making the mistake before you make the mistake, if that makes any sense. Okay, so let's do 23 more single crochet stitches. And you guys, don't be discouraged by how fast or how slow you're crocheting. If you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, sometimes you know people are faster than others. With practice, you'll find yourself speeding up, but when you're learning, you definitely don't want to go for speed. You want to go for technique and accuracy, just like weightlifting. If anybody there wants to lift weights, it's not always about how much you can lift and how many you can do. It's about, you know, the quality of your technique and obviously the accuracy of what you're doing. So but I guess as you're watching me do this, or you're busy doing this on your own, I want to thank you guys so much for watching my channel. I really appreciate your support. As you see, you guys, I do nails as well. I hope that you can enjoy both pieces of content that I do. Sometimes I like to switch it up and add more stuff, but I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Please consider clicking on that notification bell, because you never know what I'm going to put out. And I'm definitely always going to find these kits for you, so that you're always in the now, maybe for doing something new, something seasonal. Okay, so I got to the last one. Again, I'm going to leave that in there. I'm going to stick my needle into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So I should have 24 stitches. I'm going to count it off and do a slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 24, and it's not this little piece here, that's the spacer. I'm going to stick it, the hook, front to back loops, yarn over, pull through those loops, and then pull through the last loop here. So we got our closed round. I'm going to go back into this box and I'm going to grab the next safety pin, and this is going to be considered as my the start of my 7th round. So now we know where we are. I completed the 5th round, 6th round, 7th round. Don't take them off until you're done with that. If you ran out of these, I think they gave us exactly 5. You can find these at a store, online. Like I said, for me, especially, we have this long piece. I mean, I would use a different color piece, but I would use yarn and just hook it through so that I save money there. And again, you guys, this is on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description box below. You can, this is at least right now, it's a $21 price point, and it has these 5. So I think it's a good bang for your buck, because they give you legit scissors. They're giving you this legit hook, beginner hook. They give you the safety pins. They give you all the yarn to make this, and they give you the stuffing. What else am I forgetting? And they give you this box with the eye beads. I won't be using them. I'm going to be sewing them on manually, because I want to be able to give these to little ones. But yeah, let's start our 7th row here. As we know, we have 5, 6, 7. So as like every row, I'm going to yarn over and pull up a chain. And I'm going to do 24 single crochet stitches. Oh, just in case you guys forgot, it's not going to be this one that's kind of fused into the last stitch we made. It's going to be the one next over. So put your hook in there, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then I'm going to do 23 more. And again, like I said, you guys, you can go on the top right corner of your screen. There's a little gear. You click on that. There's a playback speed section there, and you can speed it up or slow down this video as you need, in case you need to have me slow down a bit. We did do the first 5 rounds kind of in slow-mo. So if you need to rewind and go back there, you know, feel free to do that. That's what these videos are here for. And I know that this all may sound daunting in the beginning, but trust me, when you just try to work things out and you are learning these steps, it'll end up becoming kind of automatic. So as you see, I mean, again, I've been doing this since I was a little kid. I'm, you know, an adult, way in adult years now, and over the years I've kind of looked at my projects and seen where I need to kind of tweak myself to get all these stitches nice and uniform. So don't be discouraged if your first project comes out not so great, because you could always redo it. So if you've seen my previous videos, I did the crafter square kits my first time around for each character, and to be honest, I wish I could redo them again, which I actually am. I do have a viewer request to do the mouse and the unicorn again. I'm gonna film it doing my left hand, because I am both-handed in ambidextrous, I guess, when it comes to crocheting. So for those lefties out there, there will now be a video for lefties, so I think that's great because I never had that. Okay, so here's the last stitch. Put the hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. I'm going to count back 24 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It's not this little one, that's the spacer. You want to stick your hook into the front and back loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull it through that chain there. And then we're going to take another one, another safety thing. And you know what, as I was thinking right now, I'm like, wow, I already lost count with the rounds. But good thing that we have marked this off, because then I'll be able to count off what rounds we did. So this is 5, 6, 7, and now we're going to do 8. We have 2 more, you guys. We're definitely getting there. So I don't want this video to be too long. Mr. Santa guy here might end up being a 2-parter. So again, click on that notification bell so that you can get that part 2 once I post it, and we'll be able to complete this Santa Claus. So we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop to make that space, and then in the next next row, next stitch, we're going to start our 24 single crochet stitches. And you guys feel free to comment below where you are in your journey of crocheting. Are you a beginner? Are you an intermediate? Are you an advanced? Sometimes even when you're advanced, some of these instructions are just so needlessly complicated. So if you find that you got something and you're not quite understanding it, don't think that it's impossible. Don't think that you're just not getting it. It's sometimes the instructions. So some of the comments that I did for the crafter square, I mean, they even had a hard time, some of them had a hard time understanding what I was doing. And it's really like, when it's hard to read the instructions, you already have an issue there. And then so when you have someone deciphering those instructions to the way they understand it, it is also hard sometimes to not get it, especially if you just process the instructions a different way. So that was kind of the gap that my challenge that I had to bridge, because I started doing these because my best friend had asked me to help her figure it out, and she actually has been crocheting as long as I have, so you're not alone. And yeah, some of the comments were like, oh, thank goodness, you know, they thought they were the only ones that couldn't get it. It's not the case. I've done so many books doing different random projects, so I happen to know the magic loop, and I found that out doing Crafter Square kits. You know, I had my own way of doing a magic loop, but using their way, I guess, you know, it works. So I'm gonna run with it. Okay, again, just move that marker aside, stick the hook into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And so now we're going to count 24 and do a slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and not that little spacer. Stick the hook, oops, make sure your yarn is in the back here. Stick the hook into the front and back loops. And just to let you know, default is yarn has to be behind your needle. So if it's up front, it'll specifically tell you that, and they don't have it here, so I don't have to explain that. But if we ever see that, I will explain it. But yeah, make sure your yarn's behind your hook. We're going to yarn over, pull it through the loop, and then pull it through this loop, and we've completed our round there. I don't even know what round that is. I'm going to put this marker in. I want to see where we are at by counting these markers. So we know that this one's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we are doing the last row for this clump here of 24 single crochet stitches. And this video is already over an hour. So, you know, I try to make these short, but I'm going to undo this. I'm talking, well, I want to tell you guys how to do it. But yeah, I like to keep these videos short, but it's just impossible because in real time, this is actually how long it takes. I actually had someone comment that, you know, wow, this is like a 2-hour video, and I didn't know what to say to that, you know, other than thank you for watching. Because sorry, it is that long, you know. People think that even a small project like this takes 2 seconds. It doesn't, unless you've made your 100th one and you know how it works and you don't have to look at the instructions. Maybe it'll take 30 minutes. I don't know if you're lucky. I don't know if you're distracted or you have other stuff to do. But this isn't a walk in the, this is a long walk in a park, out in the reserves somewhere, reservation somewhere, reserves, the big piece of land. That's going to be a long walk. And this is a small project too. So, you know, it's not as long as what other projects I'm actually working on right now. So I'm doing other projects as well. Okay, enough of that rambling. We're going to start our 9th row. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop through that chain to create that space. Then we're going to go into the next full stitch, not this little one that's being tucked in here. And we're going to do 24 single crochet stitches. Okay. You guys, I know I sound like excited about doing stuff like this, and this is just a favorite pastime. My favorite aunt who helped raise me taught me how to crochet, and every time I do, I always think about her. And today is a very special day to remember her. So it's kind of crazy that I am filming today, and I'm kind of like happy about it, you know, trying to do this cute little kit for you guys while thinking about her. So but yeah, not only is this a nice hobby to do, I mean, obviously you can make cute creations like this, but it also really helps with your mental ability and skill, because there's oh, I'm not gonna say this right, but it's like your auto motor senses or something, because we are doing repetitive stitches, so it gets your mind working. Like, even though it's a simple thing of making stitches, your mind is, all the electrodes in there are working, and it's very good for your mind. Motor skills, there it is. And then also I've read articles to where it helps with Alzheimer's and dementia, so try to do that. And then, you know, of course, maybe not for people with arthritis in the hands but it is a good, you know, thing to kind of work. You see how my fingers, everything's working, so you're getting blood flow through there. If you are noticing some tension in your hands or your fingers, it means you're tensing up too much while you're working and you're pulling your stitches too tight. You want it, I hold it like this because it makes a lighter grip. When I was a beginner, I held it like this, and that just made it tighter. So I found out I was really gripping this to force the hook into the tighter stitches. This kind of helps you hold it nicely and lightly. And then also, the closer you are actually to your gather finger, to your, or feeder finger, I don't know what it's called, to your needle, you're actually making it kind of like, without meaning to do it, you make tighter stitches. So just make sure you have a nice distance. Sometimes I close in and then I have to correct myself. But yeah, you want to keep a nice distance, because that also helps you make a looser stitch. You don't want to be tense, because this hobby, sometimes you're sitting there for hours not even noticing, and you don't want to sit there for hours and then find out that your hands are cramped because you are way too tense making your stitches. Okay, so we're on to the last stitch. I'm going to stick the needle in here, or the hook in there, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. And now I'm going to count 24 stitches back and do a slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and then not this little spacer, but the 24th stitch. Stick that hook in, yarn over, and pull through both loops, and we're just going to count back. You see how like it kind of gradually moves over? That's going to happen. You want to make sure that they're nice and uniform so that kind of blends well, but you'll always, if you look close enough, you'll see where you started your next row. Okay, so this was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're on our 10th. So here's our 10th. We have 3 more rows, you guys. You're doing a really great job, even if you don't think you are, even if you've messed up a number of times, first time, second time, third time, whatever. You're still doing a good job, because you started this video, started this kit. And you know, to be honest, you know what I'm using, so you really don't need to get the kit. You can just get yourself some yarn, get yourself some safety pins, or cut the yarn, and then work off the instructions with me. You can see them here, take a snippet, and you can do these on your own without having to get the kit. You're welcome. No, I'm just joking. I kept this one because I'm still gonna mark my last stitch I made moving forward. Sorry about that, I had to feed my cat. Okay, so we're gonna start the 10th round. We have 3 more rounds, you guys. This was, I mean, it's over an hour video, but in the crocheting world, it was quick and easy. Hopefully quick and easy, and hopefully I was able to explain it to you guys to where it was easy. Again, if not, leave a comment below. Let me know what I need to redo, so I can either do like a short clip or, you know, redo the video, maybe a lefty video. Alright, so like we do with every row, we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull up a loop here. That's going to be our spacer for the height of the row. And around 10 in the brackets, it says single crochet. I call this a double crochet. I think there's a, I'm going to look in the beginning page. I call it, sorry. Okay, single crochet decrease. Sorry about that. Okay, decrease single crochet 6 times, so we end up with 18. So as you see, we went up, now we're going back down. And I'm going to show you how to do a decreasing stitch. Again, they don't show you how to do these stitches. You have to go click on their, or go to their QR code, and it'll bring up whatever. Maybe I've never been, so it might list all the stitches that you need, and they might show you how to do it. But I'm going to show you here. If you want to go to their site, go ahead and do that. If you want to stay here, you can just stay here with me now. So we're going to do the single crochet stitch. Again, don't put it here in this stitch. It looks like the next stitch, but it's kind of fused in with this one. We're going to go to the next stitch over. So stick your hook in there. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then we're going to do our decreasing stitch. Now basically what that means is we're going to take 2 stitches and we have to fuse it to make 1. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very easy. It seems a little scary, but it's not. So stick your needle into the next stitch. You're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Now leave these 2 guys here. What we're going to do again is stick the hook into the next stitch over, yarn over, pull up a loop. So now we have these 3 loops. So we're going to yarn over and pull through all loops. So what we did, we just stuck our hook into 2 stitches to make 1. You see how it's kind of folding? It looks like a little teepee, a triangle, because we fused this one and this one together. Okay, so then we're going to go into the next stitch, stick the hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we have to repeat this single crochet, decrease, single crochet 5 more times. So starting over, put the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to do the decreasing stitch. Put your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, then into the next stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you should have 3 loops. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. We just did a decreasing stitch fusing 2 to 1. So then we put our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have to complete this 4 more times. Starting over, put your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into the next stitch, put your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have to have 3 loops on here now, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So 3 more times. Starting over, put the hook into the, put the hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then the decreasing stitch, put the hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, put the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we have to do this 2 more times. Actually, I don't even know, lost count, but we'll see. Starting over, put the hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, decreasing stitch, into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, so one last time. Into the next stitch, put the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so I'm going to remove this marker now. We don't need to keep track because we know that the next round is 11. Take off that marker, put your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we should have 18. I'm going to count back and do a slip stitch on the 18th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we have 18 stitches. This is the spacer, so don't worry about that one. Stick your hook front to back loops, yarn over, pull through all loops, and then we're going to mark off that last stitch we made. And just a quick look, you guys, this was the decreasing row. We went from 24 to 18. You can now see it's turning into a little basket. You can start to see the head of the snowman, and I'm actually amazed because I don't know if this person has smaller hands than I do. I don't know. To me, it looks kind of big here. I mean, yeah, big to where the oh, yeah, that makes sense. Never mind. The head looks smaller than the hands, so maybe they have bigger hands than me because this head looks bigger. But anyway, enough of that. All right. Round 11. So this is BLO. BLO in their booklet, and I don't remember if it's the same abbreviation for all the other books I've ever read, but BLO stands for back loop only. So you know that these braids, I call them braids because they look like pretty braids, right? These are front and back loops of each stitch. So now moving forward, like I said, this side here is the right side, but we'll also call this the front side. If this was a flat piece, the wrong side would also be called the back side. So hence, in a stitch, they have 2. That's why I say front and back loops. This is the front loop. I hope you can see that. It's a little blurry, isn't it? Okay, sorry you guys. Let's try this again. So front and back loops. This is the front loop. This is the back loop. So it's saying back loop only. We're going to be only working on the back loops. We're going to do a single crochet stitch and a decreasing stitch 6 times to make 12. Okay. It also says stuff only the bottom of the head. Add the eyes between rows 6 and 7 about 4 stitches. I will tell you guys that I am not going to use these plastic pieces. They are a choking hazard if this ends up happening in possession of a toddler, a baby, a dog, whatever. You never know. These things can easily pop out and they can swallow it, so I don't like to use these pieces. I like how in the crafters, they do it different from the crafter's square kit. This one tells you where to put the eyes. It didn't say that in the crafter's square kit. It just shows you an illustration and they're like, put it here. So here they put it through rows 6 through 7. If you need to sew it on or put beads on yourself, you can go ahead and count the rows. I might just sew on the eyes later. It also says stuff only the bottom of the head. I'll do that because in crafter's square kits you're gonna eventually see, it looks like these are simpler. It's just a head and a little body. The crafter's square kits has a neck, has a body, has arms, and you have to stuff it all. I was having such a hard time fitting my adult fingers into the holes because this is gonna get small, you guys. We're gonna end up with 6. So that's pretty much this ring right here, and to stuffing into this tiny hole. Not fun. So I'll follow the instructions for the stuffing, but I'm not going to follow the instruction for the eyes because again I'm going to sew that on myself with some yarn instead of the beads. So long explanation this time, but it's really not that hard. I'll show you each step of the way. Back loops only, single crochet, decreasing stitch 6 times. Let's do this. 2 rows left for part 1. Okay, so like in any row, we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop to make that space, that height, and then working the back loops, I'm going to do a single crochet stitch. It's not going to be this one that's fused together with this stitch. I'm going to stick it into the next one, back loops only. So you see this is the front, this is the back. We're going to stick this into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We've got our first single crochet stitch, and now we're going to work the decreasing stitch. Again, hook into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then into the next back loop, we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So now we're just going to do another decreasing stitch. So into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Decreasing stitch into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. Into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Decreasing stitch into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a stitch, pull up a loop, sorry, yarn over, pull up through 2 loops. Decreasing stitch into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Into the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops, and then one more decreasing stitch. We see this marker here. I'm going to just remove it in advance because we know we're doing the decreasing stitch. So we want to into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So now we should have 12 stitches. Going to count back and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So not this spacer stitch here, it's the next one over at the 12th stitch. I wonder if it's back loop. No, I think this is both front and back to slip stitch. I think that's different. So we're going to do front and back for slip stitching. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through the other loop, and we're going to mark off our last stitch. And as you see, you guys, this now decreased by half. So like I said, it does get tiny, so I'm really glad that it tells you to fill the bottom of the head. I mean, I really think that doesn't help much because you're still slip stitch end and fastened off. I wonder if it ever tells you. Let's see. Start crocheting main color yarn, make the same loop, da da da. I'm gonna see if it tells you to stuff it anymore. Yeah, it doesn't really. Because I want to find out. Oh, maybe it does and I missed it. Okay, let's see. Because I just turned this over and you see here it says you can add some stuffing under the hat. Let's see if anywhere here it will say it. So this is this beginning. Oh, wow, good catch, you guys. We're not doing Santa, we're doing Snowman. So, see, this is where it's confusing. That's why I like to have per character have its own set of directions. Okay, so this is the head. Okay. After we complete this head, we've got to switch gears. New page. We're going to do this here. I got to see if there's any, add more stuffing anywhere. It just says stuffing in the hat. Let's see. I forgot even what character I was doing. Because, I mean, I don't want to mistakenly put too much stuffing to where I've run out of stuffing for the other characters, you know. Okay, just stuff under the hat. Alright, so this round here where it says stuff only the bottom of the head, that's the only time we're stuffing. So I feel like that's just a poor way because everybody has their own version of what bottom means. So I don't know. I don't even know. Is halfway the bottom? Like bottom half? It should say bottom half. Stuff only the bottom of the head. Oy. Alright, well, let's follow the instructions here. I've got my stuffing. And I've got my scissors. Oh, you don't even need scissors. You see how there's this perforation here? You can just rip it. Let all that wonderful air back in. And of course I ripped it poorly. There is another side here. So you can rip that. And look, the air is coming back. So it was so flat, you guys. And now it's getting thicker. But I'm going to grab some of this. I wish I knew how much I needed. I wish they kind of like package these individually for per character. But I'm going to just rip some. Hopefully I didn't rip too much off. I've got this much fluff here. I'm just going to stick this inside. And good call because 6 stitches left. It's going to be real tough to kind of fill. And, you know, it's crazy that they say fill the bottom half only, because that is so open for interpretation. But I mean, it didn't even say bottom half. I don't even know why I keep saying that. But it says bottom. And it's very loose. So I guess that's just how they want it. I'm just going to listen to what they say. And that's the thing too, like, these instructions have to be clear. Like, there's got to be quality control, not from the company. And it should be from a beginner standpoint. If they have, you know, a beginner option, they should really, you know, hire some beginner and try it and see if they can decipher the instructions the way we are. Because bottom of stuffing, I think I overstuffed it if they're saying the bottom only. But anyway. Last round, you guys. Okay, so for round 12, let's move this over. It says decrease 6 times to make 6 stitches, run a slip stitch at the end, and fasten off. Okay. So, like we do with every row, yarn over, pull up a chain, and then this is now both front and back loops. There's no BLO anywhere. So into the next stitch, which is not this tiny one here, it's going to be the next one over. Front to back loops, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, oh, not yarn over, decreasing stitch. Into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then draw through all 3 loops. Okay, again, we're going to decrease stitch. So front and back loops, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, front and back loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Decreasing stitch into the next loop, front and back, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, front and back, yarn over, pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and then another decreasing stitch into the next stitch, front and back loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, then into the next stitch, front and back loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, into the next stitch, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a, no, sorry, into the next stitch, got lost with the repetition here, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then one last time, I'm going to remove this marker because we know it's the next 2 stitches. Last one, you guys. Into the next stitch, front and back loops, put in the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, front and back loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. And you see what I'm saying here with the 6 stitches? Look how tiny that would be to try to fit the stuffing in there. And that's what Crafter Square had to do. One character had 4, so you can only imagine, right? And that's where the anger sets in. But we're gonna count back 6 stitches, and we're gonna slip stitch and then fasten off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's not that tiny one next to it. It's in the 6th one. You stick in the hook, front and back loops, yarn over, pull through those loops, and pull through the last loop. And then what they mean by fasten off, so I'm going to leave some excess on here. We're going to give, like, I don't know, you never can tell how much you need. They never tell you how much you need, if you need it at all. But I'm going to do, what is this, like 2.5 inches? And I'm using my scissors. No, let's use their scissors. And these are very legit. Like, again, be careful with these. You can cut yourself. They are rounded, so you can't poke yourself, but you still can cut yourself. So I'm going to cut this off. Nice and simple. And I'm going to yarn over. And then I'm going to pull the entire yarn through this loop. Like that, and that's a fasten off, because we're going to tighten this up, tighten this up, and that's what they mean by fasten off. So we have our bottom only filled snowman. So this feels super not filled. I don't know why. Maybe because they didn't give us enough stuffing, because there's nowhere else in the instructions where it says add more stuffing. So this is it. And again, you guys, for those who, I've said this before, for those that want to use these bead pieces, who's okay with these bead pieces, I mean, you're gonna have to file this because there's pieces coming off the eyeball. But that was kind of the same situation with the crafter square kits. Go ahead and do that. It said to do that in round 11. I'm holding off because I'm actually going, I could do it now because it seems like there's no more stuffing to be added. I like to put it on after I stuff. I could do this now, but I want to put in the eyes when I'm done, because after you get, this is what it's supposed to look like, right? This guy here. So after you get the hat on, you get the nose on, you get this little scarf on, you'll be able to gauge where you put this on. I mean, it does help by saying the row 6 or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So somewhere around here. But I want to put the nose in first, because if you put the eyes in first, you might find that, oh, they're too far apart. I don't like that. Some people like the eyes far apart. Some like the eyes close together. But you really can't tell until you get the size of that carrot nose on here, so you can kind of gauge. And that's really, you know, it's in the details, as they say, because you can kind of make something and it could look like a ratty mess, but when you start adding these details, it might turn out okay. And you know, that's the gift of crocheting. You could always correct in your own way somehow. But yeah, so this is going to be it, you guys, for this video. This is going to be a multi-parter. We did start with the head. It tells you for the color collar, we're going to use the pale aqua. But we're going to start off with the hat. This is how all over the place it is. I don't even know if it tells you how to do the collar. Oh, okay, we're not going to do the hat. The Santa was throwing me off. Okay, so the next time we come in, we're going to do the collar. We're going to start with the pale aqua, and then these instructions here. We're going to do all these instructions, and hopefully this looks fairly simple. So hopefully we'll be able to actually complete the snowman and assemble it, and then we can move on to the next video series of doing the Santa. So thank you so much, you guys, for joining me on my video today. Again, if you want to check out in the description box below, this is by HEJIN, and it's the Christmas Characters Crochet Pattern Kit. It's a big box, you guys. You won't miss it. If you want to get all this stuff yourself, if you want to save up and just use these instructions and my video, please feel free to do that. All you need is your colored yarn. It doesn't even have to be the same. This is cotton. You can use polyester or acrylic. What else? And you don't even have to go by the colors. Maybe you don't want Red Nose the Reindeer. Maybe you just want a regular reindeer with a different color sweater, you know, or a collar. So that's where this comes in great. I keep some of the instructions that I had for all the crocheting kits that I did, and I'll be able to like do variations of them based on that. So again, thank you so much for watching. This is IsmsbyJBM. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.